Hey there guys, how's it going? Reaper here, and I'm back with another painting video. And we're back with Zombicide. This is Grand Inquisitor Innsmouth, or Innsmouth. I'm gonna go with Innsmouth, that's how it's spelled. And funny story about this guy, he was actually originally going to be a survivor. But looking at the mini and his backstory, it doesn't work. And I'm guessing the guys at Simon decided the same thing because he's now a necromancer, which is why he's being done now instead of when the survivors get done. But we've started off with standard grey primer, as we always do, and we're painting majority of his clothing in orc blood. In the artwork, he is actually quite a dark mini, and I'm hoping the wash sort of it darkens it down, but I still want to keep some of the colours, so you've got that bit of variation. He sort of pops a bit on the battlefield instead of just merging with everything. As you can see, some of the areas where the paint's gone on a little bit thin, just come back, add a little bit more paint. It's not so much a second coat as it doesn't really need it, it was just the odd touch up here and there, so I figured I'd do that while it's still wet. But now we've moved on to Banshee Brown, and there's a lot of Banshee Brown on this mini. Like the only thing, I suppose there's a lot of desert yellow, but that comes later. But the majority of the colour that stands out is going to be the Banshee Brown. Now, this part here, it's up to you guys, but I did this and I wasn't overly keen on it, so when I do the next colour, I just come back and go back over this. So it depends really how you want it to blend, and I figured that will blend better as a desert yellow than it actually does with the Banshee Brown. And there we go, that is it, the Banshee Brown. As you can see, it's a little bit fiddly with certain parts, but that's because this model is a lot of detail that, let's be honest, there's a lot of detail that's all the same colour. So the wash really makes this work. But now we moved on to Desert Yellow, and this is for, to be honest, I don't even know what these are called. They're just sort of bands that run across him. He just sort of has this weird scarf thing. It goes around his neck and comes down the side, either side of his hands. But we're doing that in Desert Yellow. We're also going to be doing the base in Desert Yellow, because I think it works just that bit more. And also on the back, he's got that sort of raised area, and you just do that in the desert yellow as well, just to make it pop out that little bit. And that's it for the yellow. Now we're on to the skin, and I use necrotic flesh for this, as based on the backstory that I read of this guy, he is actually part undead, so necrotic flesh just makes sense. And in the artwork he's got that very sort of, it's like a paley green skin, so doing it with this and then adding a brown wash, what I use on the skin for this one, it actually gives it a nice sort of greyish flesh tone. Now we're on to his shoulder pads, which are alien purple. And this is just to make it sort of pop out a little bit and separate it from the main bulk of his robes. And now we move on to Brain Matter Beige, and this is for his handkerchief around his neck. Now you could do the hair in this colour, but I don't, because I want there to actually be a distinct difference between the two, as it's all getting washed in the same, so it will just look like his hair's coming around his neck and then getting tied up, which would be weird. And speaking of the hair, we're on to Ash Grey, which is the hair colour. As in the artwork he has got, it's a very white hair, so Ash Grey is the closest I can get without it mixing with the handkerchief. And that was it for the hair. Now we're on to Warlock Purple, and this is for all the trim on the robes. So he's got sort of faint lines running around the outside of his robes, and all the gems as well across his shoulders I paint in this colour. And of course, Warlock Purple being as thin as it is, this does take 2 coats to do. So when you guys are if you guys are following along copying this, just bear in mind you're not going to get full coverage in the first go, so do it once, let it dry, do it again. It's the best way to do it, because if you keep your paints thin, you keep all the detail. And now we're on to the strange looking contraption thing that's strapped to his back. I'm doing it in a Hydra turquoise, as it's a very bluey colour in the artwork. And Hydra turquoise is a nice, it's a light colour compared to all the quite dark things we've got at the moment. And it just makes it sort of pop that a little bit more. But there we go, that is it for all the base colours. Now we're on to the first of the 2 washes, and it is purple tone for all the purple. I also do some of the desert yellow in this, but I wouldn't recommend it. I've done it because I wanted to test to see how it looked, and it's worked and it's done what it's supposed to, but I think the next wash would work more, as the next wash is strong tone and it's a brown for one thing, so it would look just more normal and more natural on the desert yellow. Which now we're doing the strong tone. This is for everything else, including the flesh. As you can see, I'm going back over some of the areas I've already done, and that is just to pick up some of the blobs of stuff so it's not pooling in those certain areas. Because with wash on a big flat area, you want to get as much off as you can, but you want to keep the stain because it gets the colour to match everything else but still looks clean, essentially. But that is it for the washes, and now we're on to matte black, which is the final part of the mini. And there's not a lot of base on this mini. He's very much all robe, which is quite nice because that means the black doesn't sort of stand out so much on different terrain as you move him around the board. But there we go, that is the Grand Inquisitor, and I hope you enjoyed, guys. I hope you did enjoy it, and I will catch you in the next Zombicide video. See ya.